It gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome Anna Sagulenko. She was first crowned for the Women Foil World Championship in Lake Silvaplana, St. Moritz, Switzerland in 2019, and was given a special mention because she had been racing with the guys all week, and she took home the event title in the women's fleet. The 2019 Foil Championship came to an end after 11 races in light to medium winds, 3 discards and only 2 general recalls, which was pretty smooth for the biggest start line so far of 71 foil competitors during the Venora Egenden Wind by Dakin 2019, thanks to all the brave flying competitors, of which Anna was one. The race committee, the volunteers, the cool media crew in general, and all the sponsors involved. We were just talking about whether Anna will represent Canada or Ukraine. She is now living in Toronto, working in North Sales, and being sponsored by Mimico Cruising Club as she trains for the 2024 Olympics in Paris. So please give Anna a warm Shellback welcome.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And welcome to my speech. It's my first speech ever. So please, yeah, I'm not joking. So please don't be strict. And yeah, let's start. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. So let's come back to that. So we come back to the first slide. Yes, it's great. So this is the picture from Lake Silvaplana, where we used to have this world championship that I won. And you can see the mountains surrounding and the blue water, and it's the most beautiful place I've ever raced in my life. And the pictures are spectacular, yes? So, okay, let's start. Welcome everyone who's joining us in the Zoom. Thank you for joining. So my name is Anna Sagulenko, and I started sailing at 9 in Optimist class, obviously, like maybe most of us. And at 13, I started windsurfing. I'm multiple Ukrainian windsurf champion as a Ukrainian. So, and my main achievement in my sports life was windsurf windfoil champion title in 2019, as things Diane told about it already. So my biggest dream ever since I was 9 was Olympic gold medal. But it's kind of a joke of life that always the Olympics was just one step away from. It happens already 3 times, and it's happening now, but I hope I can reach my hand and just grab it. So, what I do like is the warm water, sun, and wind. And I don't like solid water. So, if you want to ask what I'm doing here, so I don't have an answer for this. Yes. All right, so let's go to the next slide. And yes. So where should point this thing to? All right, so let's start with the history of windsurfing by itself. It started in 1960s and with really extraordinary designs. Yes, I think I've never seen anything of this. So, and the name of the guy who actually invented the windsurfing is Newman Derby, and his first windsurf sailboard was in 1964. It's really a weird design, yes. So, and on the left side of the slide, you can see pictures with the head sail and main sail. So they tried to copy the sailboats, but obviously it didn't work. So, and by the 70s, it was the main design, like kind of fun design, was come to this, the board and one sail and 2-sided boom, which you hold in your arms. And the 80s and 90s were the golden era of windsurfing. So it was everywhere. It was very popular. Golden bikinis on the magazine covers, not only sports magazine, but everywhere. It was amazing, something like golden era of windsurfing. And then in 1984, it was the first Olympics for windsurf boards, And the class that was chosen was Wind Glider Surfing, which was developed by Fred Osterman in 1976. So it was the triangle duck-run sail, two-sided boom, and the long board with the almost 4 meters long. So it was nice. And the North sails, yes, you can see it. So the interesting thing that it was chosen between 2 classes. It was Wind Glider and Windsurfer class. They are pretty similar. However, by that time, Windsurfer class didn't have kind of one design thing, so they were not really specified the sail size and all this stuff. So, Wind Glider was more strict to the class rules, so it was chosen for the first Olympics. And it was when my family history started, family story of windsurfing started, because my father, who was living in Soviet Union by that time, somehow got the one piece of this equipment and started to copy it. So my father was building boards out of the fiberglass, and my mom was making sails. So in my childhood, I remember all these nice colored duck-run pieces all over the place. So that's my family story started by that time exactly. I was not born that time yet. Anyway, so Windsurfer class outlived its rival for more than half century, because it's still alive now, and not just alive, it's still really popular in Europe. So in championships, or like European championships or world championships, they still have more than 100 competitors on the start line. So it's, for me, it's the same as Wind Glider, but somehow it outlived its rival for 50 years. It's amazing. And even in 2019, it was the sea trials for the new Olympic class, and Windsurfer took part of it. Still, it's old-fashioned, but yeah, it's an amazing story for the class. Next to Olympics, Lechner board took part, and so it was the combination of windsurfing and keel boards. So the designers, the brands, they tried to make windsurf board close to the normal sailboat shape. So the bow was round, and it allowed the board to go really pointing and upwinding, and really fast upwinding in the light winds and moderate winds. And still, like after all these years, it's still the fastest board upwind in light winds up to 8 knots. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. So, to 1988, the Olympic Games were in Seoul, in South Korea, and the class was called Lechner Division 2, with the triangle duck-run sail. However, next Olympics in 1992, which was in Barcelona, they were already plastic sails, which we use now, plastic sails. And 1992 was a good year for us, for female, because it was first female Olympic event for windsurfing. And the amazing Barbara Kendall from New Zealand got the gold medal there. And actually, she's amazing because she had 3 Olympic medals. Next Olympics in 1996 in Atlanta, she got silver, and in 2000 she got bronze. She has full pack of Olympic medals. Yeah, that's like my hero. Okay, and after these 2 Olympics, Mr. Roma Design came and took next 3 Olympic cycles, which is pretty amazing for the one design board. As before, only 1 cycle was available for one design class. And yeah, it's me finally. So I started my windsurfing in 2003, and so it was number 1. And I should tell you the story about how actually I started my windsurfing career. We were heading to the European Youth Olympics, European Championship for youth, and we were packing at home, and as I was the smallest member of our team, I was on the roof rack of our van tying up the boards, and the strings and the ropes were not that reliable at the time, and I pulled hard, and the next moment the rope ripped in 2, and I appeared like with my nape on the windshield of our van. Yeah, so the windshield was broken into pieces. I was in the hospital with the concussion. All good. So, but luckily the concussion was not that bad. And doctors just let me out of the hospital and said, yeah, you should stay in bed. I said, sure. And the next day we were out to the competitions. I don't remember anything from that competitions. I did great. I was 11th. And yes, I don't remember anything. So that's how my professional windsurfing career started. Nice, yeah? Nice start. So I've been doing Miss 12 design not for a long time, maybe for 3 years. And then R6 appeared, which is kind of model class already. So the board is bigger and the sail is much bigger in comparison with the previous classes. It's 8.5 for women and 9.5 for men. And in high winds, it's pretty spectacular class. Look at this. Yeah, it's just normal competitions. It's just pictures from normal competitions in the high winds. Yeah, but in light wind, it's totally boring. So, yes, just very slow, and we called it gym on the water because you have to pump the sail all the time. It's not fun at all. It's just lots of athletic work. And so I've been doing it for 8 years maybe, and that's actually when my professional athletic career started. So it was not smooth all the time, it was ups and downs, because sometimes you just have a burnout from everything, from this sports routine. So yeah, let me just describe the one day of professional athlete. So normal people, they just work 8 hours a day. However, for professional athletes, you wake up, you do the morning exercise and just wake up. Then you have 2 sessions on the water, and depending on what conditions you want to get, lighter winds or stronger winds. So you just pick the right time for the water sessions, and then you have a gym session. And after you just come back home, just crawl back home, and then you go jogging. It's called retrieval jogging, yeah, or like whatever. Yeah, just relax and jogging. And then you're not coming to bed, you're just planning your next day, or you're planning your next 5 days microcycles, because for us microcycles were 5 days. So you do 5 days, then you take a day off, then you do 5 days, and it was routine for the whole year. So you plan the whole year ahead, what competitions you're gonna take. It was about 10 to 12 competitions a year, 2 or 3 major events like European Championships or World Championships. So even now for me it sounds so boring. But I remember the time as a good time of my life. So I was like 20 to 25 maybe. I was studying at university, and we were traveling a lot with these competitions with our team. We had lots of fun, and so it was all good, despite the fact it was really tiring and required lots of discipline and requires lots of work. So that's me. Different sails, competing in different countries. Yeah, like just 8 years of this professional athlete routine every day. That was fun. And the other thing, in our 6th class, we had to be really slim. So the target weight for girls was 60 kilos, and for men it was 72 kilos. So that's why we did jogging after our gym sessions and water sessions to lose weight, because you can't gain any weight. However, now in foil, you have to be like big. The bigger you are, the better. So guys are about 100 kilos now. So that was it, and by 2013, somehow I mobilized myself, and I thought, okay, I'll go to the Rio de Janeiro in 2016 for that Olympics. So it was my main goal. And I won Ukrainian championship that year, and I did really great in European championship. That's what I can rely on funding from government for next year. But next year, it was, so life has a different plan for us. And Crimea, the place where I used to live, was annexed by Russia. And so all our plans were cancelled. Everything was cancelled because it was different country now, and for me, so I gave birth to my son, and I was totally lost, like, what should I do next? What's next? What's coming? Like, no plans, nothing. And so for 1 year, 2014, I was stuck, but in 2015, I thought, okay, so I chose windsurfing as a part of my life, so I should go on. Maybe not Olympic windsurfing anymore, because, yeah, Ukraine just not anymore in our country, like in my place, so. And we took off with my son, traveling around the windsurf stations, and I was working as a windsurf instructor. And the first stop was my friend's windsurf station, and he told me, you know, Anna, apart from Olympic windsurfing, there is a whole world of windsurfing. Just reach your hand and take it. It's fun. It's not gym on the water. You can have fun on windsurfing, not just work there. And I was like, okay, I should try it. And I tried any possible gear that he has in his windsurf station: small sails, small boards, big sails, big everything that he can offer me. And a new passion came in my life, and it was slalom surfing. So you may ask what slalom is, and slalom is surfing. Okay, so don't pay attention on the sail numbers. So it's Argentina. No, I've never been an Argentinian. So it's just, most of them are just borrowed or just second-hand. So slalom down is a downwind race, high wind race. So you start at 12 knots, not less than 12 knots. It's planning race, you're always planning. And it's just high-speed race. It takes 3 to 5 minutes to the race to come, and you just go reaching around the buoys, downwind. It's amazing. But you may ask, what's interesting in 3 minutes race downwind? But, so there are 3 main points of the slalom race. Start, as we start in a pack of 8 competitors starts together. We split in hits. So if there are like 60 competitors, then we split in like 6 hits, 8 hits. And then we start in 8. So the start is really important. You have to start full speed, second to second, no delays, nothing, just full speed on in like 0. And then you go around the buoys and you go with a jibe. And the jibe is the main part, because you have, on the first mark, you have 8 competitors jibing around 1 mark together. So you have to be really, really good at the jibes. And then you have to be really fast. So the speed is the third part of this slalom race. To gain the speed, you have to be ready with your equipment. So what the equipment is? Different sails and different boards. So slalom equipment, slalom class rules, they allow us to get 3 boards and 6 sails. So it's called slalom 36. I was never able to afford 3 boards and 6 sails because it cost a fortune. So the set can cost over like 30,000 euros. So I was always having 2 boards and 4 sails. And we also have fins, which is under the board, like a keel, but it's a small carbonized piece of, it's called fin, yes. So, and for 2 boards and for 4 sails, I used to have more than 10 fins. And apart from it costs a lot, you have to spend tons of time on the water just to try to match the perfect sail with the perfect board, with the perfect fin for these specific conditions. So the guys who are professional windsurfers, like top, I think they spend just every day 5 hours on the water just trying to match the things together. It's a huge amount of job. And then it goes to this. So will you please play the video? Nice. So this is the competitions and of Professional Windsurfing Association, and the guy who will be presented here is Antoine Albo, who is 25 Windsurf World Championship. 25 times he won World Championship, and then he set the speed record at 50.6 knots in windsurfing, which is still unbeaten. It was in 2012, and he is the most successful French athlete. So will you please start the video for us? Thank you. It's in Fuerteventura in the Spanish islands.
For 34 years, Windsurfing World Championships have been held in Sotavento. The Renew Eat Center has organized the event since the very beginning.
So the speed is about 40 knots.
Sotavento has seen hundreds of races so far. Also, the legendary speed record of Pascal Maca was achieved here in 1986. Now in 2019,
This is the jibe.
Formula One of windsurfing returns once again to Sotavento's liquid racetrack.
Gante is a nice place. It's one of the nicest stops we have on the tour. White sand, the water is like turquoise, it's really, really nice blue. And we always have a nice slalom condition here with a lot of wind. We always use the small sail and the small board because it's always windy. So I think everyone appreciates a lot that. Since 2005, I think I won every year except 1 year. So it's like 13 times I won, so it's just amazing, you know. So I'm the guy to beat here, and I want to win again this year.
The system is easy. After a flying start, the competitors race in groups of 8 around a course that is staked out by buoys. The 4 fastest competitors then advance to the next round. But what does it take to win the race?
All the level of the top guys is really good here, so you know it comes down to a lot about equipment tuning. I wouldn't say like it's only about equipment, but if you've got a good rider with good equipment, who's really trained and healthy, fit, ready to go, then his chances of doing well at this event is going to be high.
Ventura for 4 days now. Currently leading is Antoine Elbow. Second place is Pierre Montafon. Third place is Matteo Giacchino. So we had one of the most exciting races we've ever seen on the PWA Tour. Matteo Giacchino and Antoine Elbow fought neck and neck the whole race course. Coming around the final jibe mark, it looked like Matteo might take it. They jibed on the same swell. They were neck and neck the whole home straight. Unfortunately for Matteo, he crashed and Antoine took the lead. So our last day in the slalom, we've got some epic wins. It's going to be a great day. There's only 3 points separating the top 3 riders, so it's still all to play for.
Super happy after this 9th slalom that we did here. I think it was a really big success, the event, because the wind was there and strong wind at the end, because we were fighting a lot with the 6-4 and 7-0. And I was already happy, you know, because I was fighting with the guys for the first place, and then to win the event is like a little bonus, because I really like this place. As you can see, all the colors and the action we have on the water, so amazing.
Okay, that's it. Isn't it nice? Sorry?
I was expecting to see you dancing, moving with them.
Guys, if you have a comment, please make sure you ask for the mic. We'll do that after.
Microphone.
Because nobody on Zoom can hear you.
Alright, can you press the next button, please? Yes? Let's go. No, I think it's YouTube next. So just press escape button, and then go to the next slide. Yeah. Yes. So I've been doing it for 5 years, since 2015, and I was fully on. And yeah, the color of the water probably not that nice like in Fuerteventura, but it was lots of fun. And as I was mainly taking the local events, I was winning all of them, and it was like just adding everything to the top level for me. And that time I started sailmaking because, so when I was working at the windsurfing station like a windsurfing instructor, my boss asked me, can you do like sailmaking, fixing sails? I said no, and he said, maybe someone can do it. And then next winter when I came back home, I just started doing it, and luckily I have a sailmaker, great one at home, and he was my good friend before, and he taught me how to do sailmaking. So I spent the whole winter and spring season at his loft, and yeah, that was another passion in my life that started that time. So it was great. I was traveling with my small car, with my son together, we were camping in these local events. It was all great, like winning the events. So look at the small guy with me on the first place. Yeah, it's my son. He was always with me. And then we started going to Vietnam. So we spent 4 winters in Vietnam. The first winter was 2016-17. So I worked there and I competed there. We have 3 or 4 competitions there during the winter. It was golden times for me. Lots of fun, lots of work, lots of friends, everything was really good. And then in Vietnam also, I started foiling. It appeared in 2017, and I was working in a French station, which is called Jibes, Windsurf Station. And it was the base for the Starboard brand. They tested their new boards and new stuff there. And I was lucky that I was there when they brought foil. And I was like, oh, what's that? Interesting, what a toy. And I like, would you like to try? I said, yeah, sure, of course. And then I tried. I can't say it was the perfect tries, so it was mainly wipe outs first times. But then these few meters that you fly, it was just incredible feeling. Like you unite with the water and with the wind. It's silent. So you don't hear any splashes of the water. You just hear the wind in your ears and like in your hair and nothing else. It just, you fly. It's incredible feeling, and I fall for it like from the first sight, from the first try. I was like, yes, it's something new, and I love it already. Despite the fact I was wiping out that much time, so it was dangerous because the foil is quite sharp, and you always have to. So I call it ejection. So if you feel that something is going out of control, you just eject back, so you don't catch the foil with your feet. So next year, 2018. I was trying any possible gear I can take, have, borrow, rent, anything. So because it was evolving that fast, so every 2-3 months we got something new on the market. New boards, new foils, because it was a new toy for us and everything was new and it was evolving really fast. So there was no even sense to buy something for myself. So I was just taking everything that I can to try. Yes, and I loved it that much. And so as I was winning every slalom local event, I thought maybe I should try myself in something bigger. So go big or go home. I went to the World Championship in Denmark in September 2017, and I took 7th place, which that time I was considering not really good, but now I was like, hey, come on, Anna, you're 7th on the World Championship. And I won one race, and that brought me that much like self-confidence that I can actually win in the World Championship. So yeah, it was good. It was really windy that time, and it was September in Denmark, so it was pretty cold for me because I was used to like Vietnam waters, sailing in bikini, and here I had to use my wetsuit, and there were like 2 wetsuits actually. So I took 7th place, and I was, now I'm really happy about the results. And then I thought, okay, next year, 2019, was fully packed again with the competition. So I planned about 10 or 12 events again in my professional athlete career. And it was like really around the Europe all the time. And in 2018, in May 19, I went to my first PWA event in France. So it's big, like in the Fuerteventura that you see the video, it's the same, but in France. And it was disappointing for me. Totally, completely disappointing because there was no wind. And as you remember, slalom conditions, they require at least 12 knots to start. So we had first elimination in the first day, and I qualified for the finals. And then 3 or 4 days on the beach, just doing nothing, no wind. We were just waiting game, it is called in slalom world. And I was like, is that it? Is that PWA event? Is that it? That's what I was aiming for. So I was really disappointed. And I took 14th place finally because they managed to get the final of the first race in the last day, and there was no wind, it was just gusts coming. And so they started the race in the gust, and if we were lucky to go through the gust, then they, finish of the race, and that's all. So I was, totally disappointed. And then I went to my perfect event, I call it, or my favorite event of my life. It's Dead Wind France. It's the biggest event in the windsurf world. It's 1,200 competitors in the same start line. It's enormous. It's not just big, it's crazy. But it's my favorite event like through all my life, probably because, so I'll tell you why. I was not competing to someone, so you can't see your rivals. So I'll show you the video how it looks, but so you don't see anyone around you, you don't see any girls, you don't know are you 100 or are you 600. So you just go for fun. You're just enjoying the race. You're just trying to get as much speed as possible. So it's great. And I took 3rd place in it. among women. Yeah, I was 127 overall from 1,200 competitors and third in women. It was great. So, let's have a look please how it looks. Yes, let's have a look at the start. So the start is done by the rip. It's a rabbit start. It's a power boat. It's not just small power boat. It's just a... So this is the Defiant village. Normally it's empty beach, but then in the end of May, all the competitors are coming with their families. Normally in the trailers where they live. And it's the whole Windsurf village. There is a main stage where the skippers meeting is held. And this is the guy who is explaining us the course. So there is 8-figure course, pretty simple one, and 10 kilometers between the marks, and you have to go like 4 laps, so, no, 2 laps, so 40 kilometers, and it took about 1 hour for the race. And this is the countdown, and you see? Okay, so it's 1 hour to the start. The countdown, not 5 minutes, 1 hour. So you are at the beach, with 1 hour to go, you go grab your stuff, grab your gear, you have to pick up the right size of your gear, yes, and then we go on the... Oh yes. You just press start, and this is the start. So you see the power boat goes the rabbit start, the pin end always stays, so all the pro guys, they take the pin end start, so you have to go full speed, not to get in the wind shadow, because yeah, 1,000 competitors is not a joke. I didn't know that you have to go to the pin start, to the pin end, so I was somewhere in the middle, but somehow I did a not bad start, not good, but not bad. So, and there's a helicopter above the boat, the power boat, because the guys from the back, they can't see the power boat. Look at this. Yes, so you can see where the helicopter is, and so you know actually where the start is and how far from it you are. So, yeah, this is the start. Pretty amazing. So the main thing you have to do is to go full speed here, otherwise you are stuck forever at the start line. You'll see the guys now at the boat end of the start line. They're all stuck, no wind, no speed, like look at this pack. Because, so this is the Bjorn Blankenberg, another living history of our windsurf, like, yeah, another living legend. Before Antoine Albo, he was the guy. So now he's doing like only amateur racing. So, and you see the boat end of the start. They're all staying still, no power, no wind, nothing. Yeah, look at this. This is the boat end. Yes. And then you go just along the shore for 10 kilometers, and there is a first mark, which is also marked by the helicopter above it, because you can't see the mark at all. Yes, 10 kilometers. So just, yeah, you just go along the beach, like full speed on. Now it's blowing like 25 knots. I'm somewhere there. Somewhere you can pick any sail. My sail was red. Can you imagine? Yes, that was the race. So you don't see anyone, so you don't even understand where you are. Like, are you in the top, like, 300s? Are you 600s? Whatever. So you don't know. Where are the other girls? You don't know. So you just go, enjoy. You meet the other people, you wave them, like, say, hello, guys, how are you doing? So, it's very friendly race. Yes, look at this. It's amazing. And we are just flying, yes, the speed is really high here. So I think like 25, 30 knots maybe we're going, because it's 25 knots blown. So this is the first guy, and he's lucky to go around the marks with the wind. So the top guys, they're really good. I don't know who are they, like Supermans probably. And so they run the mark good. And then later, you'll see how it looks for the other people. Look at this, yeah, just stuck. Wind shadow is so big, although it's blowing 25 knots, so strong wind. There is no wind at all in the first mark. So you see the pack is coming to the mark, and the guys who are trying to leave it, no way. I don't remember how I managed, yeah, look at this. It's a total mess, it's a swamp already, yeah. Oops, yes. That's how it's happening. So I thought, now I'm thinking, so I came to the mark around like 300s, but then I, like luckily to my experience and everything, those guys are the heroes of the Deathwind. Now they use three-pod they call it, and the previous year they were using quad, so 4 people on the same board. Yes. So this is the guy who took the first place, if I'm not mistaken, Nicolas Warnburg from France, but he's from that place, so it's pretty obvious that he took the first place. So yeah, it's pretty fun. And then you just, so you have to do like 2 laps, so figure 8 2 times, and so you meet other people. So, and you meet the people from your team, or don't meet them, or like you're somewhere in the space, you don't know what's going on elsewhere. You just go, and that was lots of fun. So, on the finish line is then 2 times. So you have to finish here first time, and then there is another finish line, which is like final finish line. So this is the guy from Israel, and this is the Nicolas Warnburg who won the race. So yes, they're finishing. So this is the finish line. So this is the end. Thank you. Can I have the next slide? Wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, great. And I hope I'll go there this year again. No, this small, yeah. Thank you very much. So after this great event where I took the 3rd place and I was really happy, I went to Tarifa, Spain, which is the windsurfer paradise. It's just a white sand beach, long one. Wind is blowing every day, like 20 knots every day. Beautiful water, and so I spent there maybe half month training before the next World Championship, which was held in France. So, and I was going to win there, so I was like full power on. I was so ready to this windsurf championship, like slalom championship. I was like, yes, 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 we go. I got to get the first like championship title, and then this competition will never happened. There was no wind. 0 wind. It was my first time in my life that there was no races at all. No one race. So it was France, south of France, Atlantic Ocean, super hot, like 40 degrees. We were like staying on the beach all the day, waiting for some gusts to come or anything. And there was no wind even for foil. Nothing. 0. And it was so disappointing. We were just melting on the sand. And that was the end of my slalom racing. So I decided not to spend any more time on this and money because the gear costs a lot, and just focus on my foil training. So this was the end with no end. And I focused my foil training. We went to Lake Garda, which is one of my favorite places to go. And this is our foil and jibe. So you just stay on your foil while jibing. And now guys who are really good, they even do foil tacking. So they tack without going down on the water. They just fly all over the race. So, and then we went to the Switzerland for first ever foil championship, which was IFCA, which is called IFCA in Europe, World Foil Championship. There were 71 competitors from 18 nations and 3 continents. There was no one design foil, so everyone used what actually he used before. Any kind of boards, any kind of foils, and only the size of the sail was maximum 10 meters. So I was using 8 meters and 9 meters, so, and we were just going with everything that we had. And it was, I don't know how to say it, was just amazing. We were, at first it just was normal course racing, so upwinding, then downwinding, so normal course racing without any other alternations. And at first we were allowed to start only on the starboard side, because no one knows how it's going to be, like foiling, flying, like, yeah, it was first ever championship. And then after a few days, judges said, okay, you can start both sides, port side and starboard side. And I'll show you from the first, I don't know how we call it, like how the start looks like. So the guys taking the start on the starboard side, and you see the port side guys. It's been a short video, yeah. Whoa, 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 that's all you can say. Yeah. You can pump to get a bit faster or to point a bit higher, or you can just turn like this. And we're going like 20 knots now, so it's not a joke. You're just flying. Thank you. So that was the start. That's how we still starting now. And I won that championship, and I was so amazingly happy. It was great when the country anthem is playing in the background, and you just walk and you just go on this first like podium on the first step, and like, yes, I'm the world championship. And that was great, great. And then after it, I went home with a crown like this, like this high, maybe even higher. Yes, and I took part in the local event, which was good. Again, we were camping with my son, and it was all fun. And then I got the newsletter from World Sailing, and they said, it was like the spreadsheet, so they said, would you like to take part in sea trials for the next Olympics? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, press the button, yeah, sure. Who doesn't want to take part in the next sea trials? And I thought it was for everyone, for every windsurfer in the world who they mailed that was in the list. And then the next day, I got the email from them, the response, and they said, it's on your own expense, and it will be held in Lake Garda in the end of September, and blah blah, so are you available? I'm like, yeah, sure. Just, yeah, of course, no worries. Because I thought it was for everyone. So there will be hundreds of windsurfers who want to try new Olympic gear. And I was like, yeah, sure. So, and then I went to my local event and had fun there and came back home, taking relaxing bath, scrolling my newsfeed, and then I got this newsletter from World Sailing again, and they said, welcome our 10 female and 10 male competitors taking part in the sea trials. And they saw my name in this 10 female list, and I was like, oh my god. And it was in 3 days. And okay, I have to book tickets. So I booked tickets, luckily it wasn't COVID that year, so I booked tickets to Garda, to Italy, and I went there. And yeah, let's come back to the Olympics. And so it was Olympic sailboard sea trials. So there were 20 of us, 20 competitors, who was trying to figure out which equipment is the best for next Olympics. So they were presented 3 non-foiling classes, which were wing glider. I didn't know what the class is, actually it was from China, from somewhere, I never met it before. It was R6 class, which everyone was really bored of already because of their... So the problem of R6, it was Nilfred R6, so there was monobrand who was producing the boards and the sails, and the quality was going down every year. And competitors was so down with the bad quality of the fins and sails, and so it's like just monopoly, and it's always bad. So, and the next class was Windsurfer. Do you remember that old stuff from the 1970s? And there were 2 foiling classes, IQ foil and Formula foil. And the Formula foil class, they did the same mistake as Windsurfer did 50 years ago, so there were no class rules. So it was like kind of, you can choose any sail up to 10 meters, you can choose any board up to 1 meter wide. So like, what should I choose actually? What manufacturer should I buy? So that was not really clear. And I think most of 20 competitors, we voted for IQ foil. And a month later it was approved by World Sailing for Paris 2024. And as far as I know, for Los Angeles 2028 too. So now that we have this beautiful, amazing gear for the, it brought so much fun for Olympics, because before the Olympics it was just boring, something really difficult, and took a lot of time and power. But now, as I know from competitors, they really enjoy the class and the quality of the gear, and the feeling is just great. You're flying above the water. What can be better? So the sail size for women now is 8 meters. Do you remember we started with 6.5 meters with the wing glider, and now it's 8 meters for foiling, so it's gone crazy. And 9 meters for men. All the other gear is the same for men and women. And after that nice sea trials, we went to Azores Foil Championships. And what's remarkable about that event, that we were sailing at 35 knots. So I thought it's impossible to go foiling at more than 20 knots, but then we pushed the limit, and I don't know if there is a limit now for foiling. So because I know that previous championship, like in World Championship this year, 2022, they were foiling at 40 knots. So there is no limit anymore. It's just the judges who decide whether we can go, like the judge boats, the race committee boats, or they cannot, because foilers will go anyway. So I took the 3rd place there, and look at this nice company. So let's go from left to right and start with the men. So first is Julien Bonton from France. He is silver Olympic medalist. Next one is Thomas Goyard, who is silver Olympic medalist. Next one is Nicolas Goyard, his brother, who is multiple windsurf foil champion. Girls, Marina Alabau, Olympic gold medalist. Blanca Alabau, her sister, and me. Pretty nice company, isn't it? Loved it. So for 2020, the plans were even bigger. Major events, all the stuff, but as we know, the whole year was cancelled by the COVID. Everything was cancelled. No year in our life, it just was excluded from our life. And it was even very hard to get the gear. As I was living in Crimea and we all had to come back home because of the COVID, no traveling, nothing. So, and because we had this stupid border between Russia and Ukraine and this Crimea peninsula, so I had to, yeah, it was crazy. I'll not tell the story, it's amazing. But finally I got the gear and I was so happy and we celebrated with champagne that I got the gear in 2020. It was amazing. And then I was staying at home in Crimea with my new foil gear, all happy that I got it, but I can't go anywhere, so I just played with my in my playground. Isn't it? So the guys who were on the boat filming me, I heard their comments like, is she flying? Yes, she's flying, but she's so faster than us, we can't follow her in the boat. It was funny. This place is not far from my place. Yeah, beautiful to sail in this mountain place, great. Okay, so the short movie about my trainings. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So, and somehow with how it's called by hooks and crooks here, yes? I got to Italy. It should be the first windsurf IQ Foil World Championship, but because of it was COVID and all the stuff, it was called IQ Foil Games, which we called COVID Games, yes? And so we were in the face masks all the time on the beach, and we were allowed to take them off only when we were on the water. And so it was kind of first Olympic class event of this kind, and I took something like 20th place or 21st. It was not that bad, but yeah, I was again disappointed at the time. But still, it was really good, and I can't find the video from that exactly championship, but I found the video from 2022. And now you'll know why I talk that much about slalom, because slalom discipline now is an Olympic discipline too. So now we have three kinds of courses. First one is just normal race course, which takes us about 15 minutes to go around. Then we have slalom racing, which takes in light winds, which takes us 3 to 5 minutes to finish. And also we have marathon race, which takes us about 1 hour to go. So all the three kinds of courses are in the Olympic program now, which is great, in my opinion, because we can cover all the wind speeds. So we can start from 7 knots and we go up to 40 knots now. So this is Italy, Lake Garda, which is a beautiful place to race and to sail and just to have fun, yeah. In the marathon race, we still have the ready start with the power boat, but all the other starts are just normal start line. This is new Olympic class, guys. In 2024, it will be racing in Olympics.
Nice thing. Take it.
This happens too. Yes, but I have to say there are not that many collisions that actually, because everyone knows that they're flying at 20 knots and it will be really bad if someone hits another one. So we'll really try to keep clear from each other, but sometimes it happens. Anyway, it happens, but I haven't heard about really bad injuries or something like this. No, nothing. All good. So this amazing girl, she's Helen Nozman from France. She won every event that she took. Yes, in the last 2 years, she won every event. And this is Nicolas Goyard. You already remember him. Yes? Good man. Nice. Yes, it's the prize giving ceremony. So normally we have prizes for youth men and women, and then for the senior men and women. Nice. Good. Yeah, they are in Italy. All right. Thank you. And so I was back home in November, and sometimes we had such a good weather that in December trainings are like this: bare feet, sunny, warm weather, like really good. And so it was 2021 coming, and nothing major was going on because it was even more strict with the COVID. These restrictions, no flights, no Europe traveling, nothing. So I was just training at home and have my local events, having fun at home. It was also good because we have nice sea and nice. So I was working, and I was really lucky to have my small loft, my small workshop in the yacht club, like we're sitting now, just in front of the water. So when I was working, like, oh, it's windy, should I go? Yes. And I was going on the water. It was good. And then, so in 2022, I was doing my first camp in Spain, training with the guys from all other countries when the war started. And I just sold all my gear, and I thought, again, it was the end of my windsurf career. However, I understood now it's, again, just another chapter going on. And I came back home, picked up my son, applied for a job, and got the visas to Canada. And then 1st June I was here. And now I wanna thank my sponsors. So it's Hugh Beaton from North Sales. Hugh, a little applause for you. So this is the man who actually helped me to come here. If he is not here, if not because of him, so I wasn't here at all. So I applied for a job, and he got my application and said, yes, I hire you. And I was like, we're going to Canada. Yes, it was all good. So, and he helped me with everything here, with settling down here, with everything. Thanks a lot, Hugh. So the next man is Chris Bobick from Mimico Sailing Club, Cruising Club, who allowed me to use the Mimico Cruising Club as my base camp for training. Thank you very much. Now, I'm very lucky to live close by to the Mimico Yacht Club, so it's like it takes me 10 minutes to go there to launch and just go and wander around the Ontario Lake. So Mr. Gear and Matt Aiken, he's not here presenting, so he provided me all the gear that I'm using now, all the wetsuits, safety gear with my helmet, and all this it's nice. So if you ever need some active wear for water sports, yeah, go for Mystic, it's very good. And I want to thank you, Greg Johnson, he's not here too, and RBR Flight School, who provided me the gear here, because if not him, I can't fly. So he gave me the wings back. And that's how my training in Lake Ontario looks like. So it was November. I got my gear only in late October probably, or even in the beginning of November, and I was training until the water was iced. So I can't go when it's like under 5 degrees flies. So it's really, really cold because I go bare hands. And so it was really good. Yes, and so about next steps. So now I wait for water to be liquid again. Yes, so then I can start training. So in May there is coming Death Wind again in France, and yeah, you remember that nice event. And the point that North Sails starting their nice windsurf sails 3i that we're going to test there and to present there. So I can't wait for this event. Next step is like, I'd love to go for European training camps and competitions in July to get back actually to track, so and to see where I am now in the world windsurfing. And in August there is a world championship, which is the first Olympic qualification in August in Netherlands. So I hope I'll get there and I see where I am now. Is my level still okay, or I'm not qualifying for Olympics at all? So I don't know now because I already missed 1 year of trainings. But yeah, we'll see. So these are next steps. But the first one is the water to be liquid. Okay, thank you very much. And may I last kindly to start the video? One more thing, just 1 second. There is just one more nice video that I want to show you. It's from Mimico Yacht Club. That is really, really nice, but I can't necessarily include it in my presentation
Yeah, I
because
think
of the
you put it-
format.
Well, it was last minute.
No, that's okay. It's just the conflict of the format.
Just give us a moment here.
And Graham is the foil master at the controls.
Oh yes.
If only you were enthusiastic about what you do.
All right, here is it. It was taken in late November previous year by Trevor Bobick, and thanks for him, he made a great video. You just press play, maybe, yeah. Nice. It's epic. Oh, yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's November, like late November, maybe like something 26 if I'm not mistaken. Look at the skies.
There's 1,199 people right behind you.
Yeah, I can see all of them, yeah.
Going over the
There's the chase boat. I was in that boat. You can't catch up.
I think it will take me half an hour to go there.
What's your average speed in that?
So-
I need to repeat the questions for the people on Zoom, because they cannot hear your questions.
Yeah, promise you epic videos, yes. Thanks, Chris, that was very good. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. That's it for the presentation.
Are there any comments or questions that you have of Anna? Alan?
For the first time I
Wait a
speak.
minute, please.
Actually, we've had a lot of good presentations at this club. This was spectacular.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm almost speechless, but never complacent. Thank you so much. Your enthusiasm is infectious. Good success. Go for it. And best wins ever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Are there any other comments or questions that you might have for Anna?
Where was the first place that you showed the first video? What was
The first video.
Oh, where was the first place?
Can I have the another microphone? Okay, so it's a bit difficult system. So the first place where the slalom races are, yes?
Yeah.
It was Fuerteventura. It's a Spanish island in the Atlantics.
Oh.
With this nice bright color of the water.
Yeah.
But so
And the
PWA,
white sand, right?
yes, but PWA, they used to have before the COVID 5 or 6 stops, and they call it tour. And there were more stops for men than for women again. Yeah. So, and in Fuerteventura, we never had event for women because the strong winds are there mostly. So men were using their smallest equipment, so they decided that for women is too much. So we never had a stop there. It's only on men event. But that's okay, so the place is really beautiful.
Is there a question from the?
Yep, there is.
There's a question from Captain Paul. What is the record speed for a folding board?
Okay, speed is a big question now from everyone. So I can say personally about myself. Upwinding, I'm going from 15 to 20 knots upwinding. When I go downwind, my top speed is 25.9, so let's say 26 knots. However, I know that men are pushing over 30 knots already, like 35 knots, and the kind of maximum, the limit now is 40, so they were trying to close to 40 as much as possible. So I know the speed record, not an Olympic year, but foiling is 39.8 knots. So they're trying to get this 40 knots limit, but it's not Olympic year. And in Olympic year, it's like 32 knots, still a lot, yeah.
Yes, Jim, just a minute.
I am very impressed by youngster talking to this group with young minds and a little bit older bodies. What are you going to do when you get to be 40 and have another 50 pounds? And although this is a wicked question, but you said this was your first talk.
Yes.
My congratulations on being a good speaker, because doing things like this is part of a growth experience. And because of your international background, you might try something in politics, because you could be very successful with your charm and good international background. So my compliments. And was wondering what other dreams you might have. Thank you again.
And I apologize for such a wicked question.
So it was very nice for you to call me youngster. Because I'm 34 already, so I don't count myself as a youngster anymore. So, and why do you think I'm gonna gain 50 pounds more? I'm not going to. And even if I am 50 pounds more or 15 pounds more, it will be even easier for me to go foiling. Because it's like heavy sport now, so I'm really slim for foiling now. I have to gain at least like 20 pounds more to be good with those girls, because the French girl, who is not Helen Osmond, she is twice bigger than me. So I'd love to gain more weight, actually. And yeah, sorry, I'm not going to politics, anything on this. It's no, thank you. I'd love to do what I'd love to do.
There's a question a comment from Julia. Congratulations on an excellent, interesting. Do you train with weights? How heavy is the equipment?
Okay, I'm sorry, I will answer this question, but I answered your question about the dream. So I still have a dream at the Olympics. So Olympic dream is still my goal. So about the weights, so we're not allowed to get any weights with us. So we can have 1 kilo extra. So we have all our gear, like wetsuit and the impact vest and our harness and the helmet. And it can weigh something like 2.5 kilos or something, I don't remember the right number, but it's only 1 kilo that we can have extra. So we're not allowed to get any weights with us. Or maybe the question was train with weights in the gym?
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't get it right. So I have to, but I must confess, I spent this winter doing nothing. Sorry, Chris.
We'll
because,
get there.
yeah, it was normally, okay, let's say normally, yes, I train a lot with the weights, especially with my legs, so I have to do the, I don't know, squashes, and yeah, it's always with the weights. So before, for R6, we used to do only cardio, not much weight training, but lots of cardio. And now for the foiling, we used to have only weight trainings. Lots of, yeah, we have to be really, really strong and heavy. All right, any
Any other comments or questions? Yes, Liz?
I want to compliment you on your enthusiastic, very exciting presentation. And then I have a question. I would assume that the weight gain that you think you need to beat the other women competitors would be gained through weight training, enhancement of muscle, and not from what you eat.
Exactly, yes.
Thank you.
George?
No, they didn't hear the answer.
She just nodded.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
It was yes to weight training and not.
But please repeat it in the mic.
Anna said yes to weight training and
I'll
not
answer
to
it a bit
weights.
later, okay? I'll answer it like 2 questions involved.
I would just comment that, Jim, the over 70 World Championship is still available.
There you go, Jim. Anna, I have to echo what many others have said here, and that your enthusiasm and excitement about what you're doing came through in everything that you said. And I guess we have another question here.
This is from Captain Paul. Did you compete at the Pan Am Games in Toronto?
Sorry again, please.
Did you compete at the Pan Am Games in Toronto?
Sorry, first I'll answer the question about the weights and the food. You have to combine. You have to combine everything to gain the weight. You can't just go to the gym and train with the weights and then eat nothing. There will be no gaining of weight. So you have to eat. But personally, I decided that I'm not gaining weight before I'm in the top, like say 20, because before I'm in the top 20, I need to improve my techniques and tactics and everything else. And then if I understand that, okay, I'm not getting enough speed because I'm light, then I go and gain weight. Because for me, it's easy to gain weight. So I'm sorry about Pan Am Games. I'm not the citizen of Canada, and I'm not the citizen of any another North American country, so I cannot take part in any Pan Am Games. And the region for me is Europe, so that's why I have to go to Europe. That's why I plan to go to Europe in summer, because this is the only regional competitions where I can take part in, officially.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, I am delighted you have been here, and for someone who has never given a presentation before, I would never have known if you hadn't said something to us. I wish you all the best, and I hope we will follow your career. Absolutely. Please give Anna another round of applause. And I have a little something for you, a little token of our appreciation. If I can get it out of the bag, just a minute. A little token of our appreciation to remember us and know that you are always a Shellback. So please give her another round of applause. Thank you.